Welcome to Vision Academy. This is a second video on finding seasonal indices using ratio to moving average method. In the first video I have explained how to find seasonal indices for quarterly data. I request you to watch that video first because in detail I have explained there. Since data are much in monthly than quarterly, first I dealt with quarterly data, and in this video I will explain for monthly data. So this is a final output after the final result. In this video I will tell you how to get this result. So we know that firstly we know that components of time series analysis, which I have already explained. In this component I am going to explain in finding seasonal effect. So in seasonal effect also we do have some of the methods. This is a simple meaning of seasonal effect, which I already explained in earlier video. So let us see the components of seasonal effect. So we have 4 components in seasonal effect. So I have already explained method of simple average, and in this video I am going to explain ratio to moving average method for quarterly data. For monthly data I have already explained, which which URL is available in the description box. So if we want to see the meaning of a ratio to moving average method, I have already explained, which is very widely used as statistical tools by the business and economics. It is most better because of its accuracy, and seasonal indices in this method are free. This method is free from the 3 components, very important 3 components. One is trend, one more is cyclical, and one more is irregular variation. In ratio to moving average method we will remove all these 3 variation. One is trend, cyclical and irregular variation. That is why it gives a highest accuracy. Due to its highest accuracy, most widely used statistical tool is ratio to moving average method. In my last video I have explained formulas. So these are the elaborated formula. These second 2 slides are elaborated formula. I have explained elaborately in my last video on quarterly data. Here I will brief these steps. Firstly, we need to enter data in chronological order. The problem for the calculation purpose, we need to order them in a chronological order. Then we need to find a moving average. Second step is to find moving average. If it is 12 months, in this video we are dealing for months. If it is 12 months, then we have to take 1 year average and put that data between June to July. For next average we need to discard January and consider next year January, and for next average we need to discard February of last year, and February and January, and for next year we need to consider up to February, and then we need to discard March, and so on. We will repeat this procedure until all the procedure observations are exhausted. So I will tell you, I will let you know how this work. After finding moving average by following this method, and we need to find centered moving average over moving average we found in the last step. So here we will consider June to July. Example, we will take centered moving average of June and July, and we enter in July, and for next we will take August and July, and we enter in the August, and so on. So after that we need to find seasonal relatives. In seasonal relatives we divide the original values given in the problem, whether it is monthly value or quarterly value, divided by last step centered moving average. Then we will obtain seasonal relatives. Here this is a formula for seasonal relatives. It is a original value, maybe production, sales and so on. A moving average 2 means centered moving average, and which will be multiplied by 100. Then so that we will obtain seasonal relatives. Then thereafter we need to enter all the seasonal relatives observation in their respected quarter or month. This is one of the important step here. because whatever the data given in the problem we won't consider, we will only consider seasonal relatives. We need to replace all the given data with the seasonal relatives. That is why this is very important. I will tell you how to enter those seasonal relatives. Thereafter we need to find median of those seasonal relatives. For example, if it is 3 years monthly data, we need to take a median of all the 3 years. Out of 3 years we will take one median, so that we will find median as such, and median is also an average, so we obtain an average by doing so, and thereafter in next step we will obtain grand mean, and lastly we will find seasonal indices. So these are the very important necessary steps we need to follow for obtaining seasonal indices to calculate ratio to moving average. So let us consider a problem for calculation. Here for this data we need to apply ratio to moving average method to ascertain seasonal indices from the following data. Here we have 3 years: 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. See, consider this is a production of a certain article, production for 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. These are the years data, and these are the respected months, and these are the respected observation in their respected year and in their respected months. For this data we need to apply ratio to moving average for to ascertain seasonal indices. Calculating this is a very tedious job, because in one screen I cannot show this in one screen, because we have 3 years. When we complete first step, we cannot show that in a single display. That is why I am going for Excel. In Excel I will show you how to, in Excel I will solve some of the steps. Thereafter I will come back to PPT to explain further more steps. What is possible in Excel, what is possible in PPT, I am doing so. Then let us move on to Excel. So then let us proceed from step 1. What is step 1 is arrange data in a chronological order. For that I have taken first column as year, second column as month, third column as sales. Sales are given in the problem, sales, production, demand, whatever given in the problem. Firstly I will take 2009 data. Here year is 2009, and I have inserted all the 12 months of 2009, January to December I have inserted here. And in the third column I have also inserted sales of 2009. For example, 2009 January sale is 500. Here I have listed 500. February 600, and you can check it here. December 1100, here 1100, and thereafter I have to take 2010 into consideration, into adding to enter data in a chronological order. Here we have 2010 sales, here 2010, and I have entered say months in the second column, and in the third column I have entered sales. Here January sales of 2010 is 550, February is also 550, and you can check it here. July 750, here July 750, and December 1000 in the December. So that we entered 2010 data also in a chronological order. Then let us concentrate on 2011. Here year is 2011, and months are January to December, and their respected sales are also entered here. So it is taking huge space. That's why I told you it is unable to place in the PPT. So then let us go for 2012 data. Here we have 2012, here is 2012, and in this second column we have entered months. In the third column we have entered their respected sales of 2012. In the 2012 January sale is almost 600, and in the May here it is 800, and in the November the sales volume is 1200. So by this way we finished what? We entered all the datas in chronological order. We finished step 1. Now we can move on to step number 2. In step number 2, we need to find the moving average. So I told you for monthly data how to take moving average. Firstly, I will take moving average from January to December. In December, firstly we need to add all the observation from January to December. When we add all the observation, total observation from January to December is 9,900, and since we have added 12 observation, we will divide this data by 12 only. So we have we obtained 825 as moving average. Now the question comes to our mind, where to enter that data. I enter this 825. Since in the January to December we have 12 observation, since it is even number, 12 is even number, we will enter this data between June to July. So here look at here June and here July. June to July we have entered 825 as a moving average. I have not shown you here the working note of moving average for each and every observation. You can take a separate working note. I told you how to take moving average, and again I will show you for one more data as such. After taking first moving average, we need to discard January first for next observation, which means we have to take values from February to January, 12 observation we need to take, and again we need to add all these 12 observation except January in 2009. And now we need to enter this data between July to August, because July to August, 12 months from February to January, so 6 months to the top and 6 months to the lower. And you can see here in the year column I have entered J means January, which means for this moving average we need to discard January, which is symbolically to make it very easy, make it more comprehension. I have entered January here, and when we add 12 observation from February to January and divided by number of observation, that is 12, we got 829. So let us move on to calculation for further years also. So if we scroll down as such, so we have to discard here. For next calculation we have to discard February, because this is a third calculation. If we discard February, we need to consider from March to February, 12 months, and in the March to February, between mid months are August to September. So we need to add all these 12 observation, and we need to put divide by number of observation, that is 12, and enter in the here August to September, between August to September. And you can see here I have discarded February. So for next calculation we need to discard March, because one month we will discard and 1 month we will add. Now we have to take April to March. Irrespective of the years we need to take it here. We need to concentrate on months. We need to discard 1 month and we need to add 1 month in the next level. Here I will add all these 12 observation divided by 12. And April to March between months are here September to October. Between month is September to October, because to the top April 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to the top 6, and to the bottom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In between 6 months to the top, 6 months to the bottom. I have entered this data, I have added and taken the moving average. I entered data which is 821. Here I have discarded March data. So by this way we have calculated moving average for all the months value. So you can see it here. We have discarded all the values, some of the values, and added some of the values. So for till 2012 we have found moving average using the discard and add formula. So in the 2012 we have a last year 2012, For last year I will tell you. Here we have taken 6 months data, to the top also 6 months. Between 2012 January to December, here midpoint is this, between June to July we have added these 12 observation and divided by the 12, and we have added here, that is 912.5, which is very easy. Just you need to understand the logic, very simple logic. So for this value we have discarded December of 2011. Now we know we have no more values for calculating moving average for further years, because we have exhausted all the values here. Thereafter, from January, if we discard January in 2012, we will have only 11 observation. We do not have 12 observation, so that we will stop here and we will go to further steps. So this is very simple steps to calculate moving average. So one more time I will explain you. To give working note, there is a huge calculation to give working note. That's why I am not giving working note. Simply I will explain you very simply. We will follow the same procedure for all the observation for all the years until all months are exhausted. So again I will tell you, for 2009 to January to 2009 December, there are 12 observation. We will add all the values of 12 observation. That 12 observation is 9900. Since we have added 12 observation, we will also divide it by 12. Number of observation here is 12, and we got the value of 825. We need to understand where to insert this value. This must be inserted exactly between the months, since we are taking moving average. So between months is, here we have considered 12 months from January to December. Since it is even number, if it is odd number, say for example there are 11 observation, so that we can insert the average value for 6th observation, because 5 values to top, 5 values to bottom. But here it is even number. So January to December mid months are June to July, so that we have entered here June, between June to July. And for next step we will discard January, and we will consider February to January, irrespective of the year. Whatever you consider, but you need to take only 12 months to the consideration, and you need to add the value and divide the respected observation, and you will obtain sum of the value. That value must be entered in between months. Say for example, for February to January, when we add those 12 observation, we will get 9950. Here I have discarded January and I have added January of 2010, and which must be divided by 12. When we divided by 12, we got something value 829.16. 829.16. Here I have inserted 829. From February to January, mid months are July to August. Mid months. In between July to August I have entered here, and here you can see I have discarded January. So by this way we will obtain moving average. Then let us move on to the next steps, that is centered moving average. So centered moving average is third step. Here we have already obtained moving average. This is a first average, that's why in the bracket we have mentioned first. This is a centered moving average is second one, that's why in the bracket we have mentioned second. It is a fifth column, it is a fourth column, it is a third column, second column and first column. It does not mean 1 into 4, it mean fourth column and first average, it mean fifth column second average. So how do we take? I will take centered moving average. That's very important here. To take centered moving average, we need to concentrate on average moving average. To take centered moving average, we need to concentrate on moving average. Example, we have two observation here. Here we need to take a center point of these two observation, and we need to insert that center moving average to the center of those two values. For example, we have inserted center moving average to the July in the 2009 value. So 825, 829 give some two values here. This will become 827. Centered moving average for these two values is 827. Then we will consider next two values, 829 and 825. Here also same values, 829. Here I can give two values here. Then 827 is a centered moving average. Then for next center moving average I will consider 825 and 821. Here also I can give two values to this 821. So 823 is a centered value. Otherwise you can take simply 825 plus 829 divided by 2, because we are adding two observation here. So between value it is exactly 827. So we will follow this procedure until all observations are exhaust. We will follow same procedure. I have not shown you here some of the working note for calculating centered moving average. So you can see it here for all the months from all the months from January 2009 to January 2010, January 2010 to January 2000 December 2010 of December, and in the 2012 also I have did the same thing, and in the 2012 also I have did the same thing. For example, I can show you here again 908.5 plus 912.5. so these two value average is centered average is 910.5, and again 908.5 plus 900, these two value centered point is 904.25, and again here 891.5, 900, these two value centered average is 895.75, and 879 plus 891.5, these average centered average is 885, and again 866.5 plus 879, these two averages is this 872.5, again 846 plus 866.5, these two values of centered average is 856.25, and again 833.5 plus 846, these two values centered average is 839.75. So as I shown you here, we have applied all the same procedure for all the values here. So next we can move on to the next step, that is fourth step. In the fourth step we will find seasonal relatives. So what is the formula we use to calculate seasonal relatives? I told you YT, which means old value, divided by centered moving average, which is moving average to here, moving average to centered moving average, and into 100. Then we will get seasonal relatives. So this seasonal relatives can be found for the values which we have centered moving average only. Since we need to consider the old value divided by centered moving average, we can only calculate seasonal relatives for centered moving average. This is also very simple. Third column divided by fifth column into 100 will be a seasonal relatives. So I will show you some of the calculations, some of the values, how to find a seasonal relatives. For example, I will start from this July, because in July I have centered moving average. So I will apply to the formula. YT is a sales, which means old value is 850 is a old value, 850, and which must be divided by what? Divided by centered moving average. Centered moving average in this case is 827. So this must be multiplied by 100 into 100. So when we multiplied the 850 divided by 827, when we multiplied that by into 100, we got 102.78. This is a seasonal relatives of July month 2009 July month. Then let us calculate August seasonal relatives. Here it is old value is 900 and centered moving average is 827. 900 divided by 827 into 100 is 108.83, and for September 900 divided by 827 into 100 will be 109.36, and for October 950 plus 816.75 into 100 is 116.31. For November 1100 into 808.25 into 100 will be 136.1. For December 1100 divided by 800 into 100 will be 137.5. So this is a seasonal relatives for July, August, September, October, November, December. As I told you, we will follow the same formula for finding seasonal relatives for rest of the years. So look at here. I can show you some of the calculation here in the 2010 also. In January, we have old value as 550. Centered moving average is 791.75. So seasonal relatives is 69.47. For February, 550 divided by 781.25 into 100 will be 70.4. For March, 600 divided by 768.75 into 100 will be 78.05. And we can go for September 2010, September 750 divided by 723 into 100 will be 103.73. We can go for November also. 900 divided by 714.5 into 100 will be 126 seasonal relatives. We can move further. We have did the same procedure. We have followed the same procedure for all the years. For example, in 2011 also, for January, old value sales is 500. Centered moving average is 716.5. 500 divided by 716.5 into 100 will be 69.78. You can take November value of the 2011, 1100 divided by 827.25 into 100 will be 133. So we shall move further. Let us see seasonal relatives of 2012. We want to know how this is gonna end up. So January 2012 old value is 600 divided by centered moving average is 856.25 into 100 is 70. For February 2012 old value is 650, centered moving average is 872.75 into 100 will be 74.48. In the March, 650 divided by 885.25 into 100 will be 73.43. In the April, 750 divided by 895.75 into 100 will be 83.73. For May, 800 divided by 904.2.25 into 100 will be 88.47. For June, 900 divided by 910.5 into 100 will be 99. So we can stop it here because we are all exhausted with centered moving average value, so that we obtained next step also. So after finding seasonal relatives, we can go for further step, that is enter seasonal relatives in respected months. I told you this is a very important step, just because we will replace all the given values here and we will consider only seasonal relatives for next step. So let us enter the seasonal relatives to the respected months here. I will show you here respected months. You can see in 2009 this last column is seasonal relatives, and in 2009 seasonal relatives started from July, so that we can start entering seasonal relatives in the column from July only. Here I have already entered seasonal relatives for understanding easily. So I will show you here 2009 July seasonal relatives is 102.728. Here it is 102.8. This is a seasonal relatives of 2009 July. Second one, seasonal relatives of 2009 August is 108.83. Here 108.8. And September 109.36, here 109.4, and for October 116.31, here 116.3, and for November 136.1, here 136.1, for December 137.5, here you can see 137.5. So let us consider for next year, that is 2010. So we have 2010 here, 2010. For 2010 January seasonal relatives is 69.47. Here 69.47 for January. February 70.4. Here 70.4. And for March 78.05. Here 78.05. For April 85.95. 85.95. For May 94.37. Here 94.37. So by this way we have entered all the seasonal relatives in their respected months. So we shall move further, and we have did the same thing for all the seasonal relatives. We have entered all the seasonal relatives into the this tabulation. For example, 2010 July seasonal relatives is 103.73. So here 2010 July, here 103.73, you can see it here. So by this way we have entered all the values in the column only. So here you can see again for 2010 September 103.73. So 2010 September 103.73 again. For 2010 December, here seasonal relatives is 140. 2010 December, 2010 December is 140. And you can see 2011 March seasonal relatives also. 2011 March relative is 75.21. 2011 March to the 75.21. So by this way we have added all the values, all the seasonal relatives values in the one column in the problem only, in the single tabulation only. For example, I can also show you 2012 January seasonal relative is 70. Here 70 I have mentioned here. And 2012 June seasonal relative is 99. June to 2012 seasonal relatives is 99. So by this way we have entered all the seasonal relatives in their respected months in their respected years in a one tabulation. So after doing all the steps here, now I can move on to the Excel from Excel to PPT. So from now we can show in a single display, so that I am going for PPT also. So there I have finished steps 5. Here in this step number 6 we need to find median. In my last lecture you can see I have calculated the ratio to moving average method for quarterly data. Here something is different here for monthly data. For monthly data we need to find monthly data. For quarterly data also we need to find median of the all seasonal relatives. So let us consider median taken from here only. So median is a midpoint between two values. So how I have taken median here is, here 70 is highest value and 69.47 is the lowest value. Midpoint of 70 and 69.47 is 69.78. Here it is a median point. And in the February, median point will be 83 is a highest value in the given example, 70 is a lowest value, midpoint is 74.48. This is 74.48. and in April you can see 85.95, 80, 83. So 83 is a midpoint because 80 is a lowest, 85 is a highest, 83.73 is a midpoint. And in the July we can see 102.8, 103.7, 94.73. 94.73 is the lowest, 103.7 is the highest, 102.8 is a median for July. And then we also have to concentrate on August. In the August, 106.5 is a median. In the October, 116.3 is a median. In December also 140 is a median, because 143 is highest, 137.5 is a lowest. So if we add all the median is also a mean. If we add all the median and divided by number of observation here is 12. So once we add and divide by all the observation, we will get general average also, grand mean, general average. So let us move on to the further step. So further step is finding grand mean. I told you how to take grand mean. Since median is a mean of respected observation, we have to add all the mean and divided by number of observation 12, which is a general average, grand mean also. So here you can see in the calculation I have shown you how we have obtained grand mean. Before that, you know the formula for obtaining grand mean. So grand mean will be mean of first month, second month, and till 7th month we have to add and divided by number of observation. Then we will obtain grand mean. So grand mean, here I have added all the observation firstly. So first observation, first median is 69.78. So here first observation, second observation is 74.48, and third observation 75.21, and so on. I have considered all the median, I have added all the median, and I have given divided by 12. When we divided by 12, after adding firstly when we add that 195.89, here also I told you total of this median is total here, and divided by number of elements 12. So grand mean here is 99.658. So this is a grand mean, and here also you can see that grand mean. So after finding grand mean, we shall move on to the next step, that is finding seasonal indices. Finally, our important task is to find a seasonal indices. For that we made several tasks. Whatever the seasonal indices, you need mean, you need grand mean. Here we obtained mean by having moving average, after central moving average, after seasonal relatives. Thereafter we took that median of relative index, and thereafter we obtained grand mean. So I think you know the formula for calculating seasonal index. I have given this formula in my last lecture only. Y bar divided by Y bar bar. Y bar is a median of respected month. Y bar bar is a grand mean, which means averages of the average also. Then let us calculate seasonal relatives for all the months here. So we know that grand mean is 99.658. Let us calculate seasonal relatives for first month, first January. Here I told you I have calculated January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December also. For all the years I have calculated here seasonal indices. For example, I told you how I will tell you how we obtain the seasonal index for January. Here formula, median of respected January is 69.78 and grand mean is 99.658 into 100. Here I am just applying to this formula. Seasonal index of January is 70.02, and for February median is 74.48 and divided by grand mean into 100. 74.74 is a season index for second, which means February seasonal index. We shall see for May seasonal index is May median is 88.47. so here is May 88.47 divided by grand mean into 100. Seasonal indices for May is 88.777, and for October you can see, for October here, for October median is 116.31. so 116.31 divided by grand mean into 100. seasonal index for October is 116.71. For December, you can see December season median is 140. 140 divided by 99.658 into 100 is 140.48 is a seasonal indices for December. By doing so, we obtained seasonal indices for all the months. So now we have finished all the tasks. We obtained seasonal indices. This is the final output which we have, which we can see in one tabulation. These are the seasonal indices of their respected months. These are the median of their respected months, and these are the seasonal relatives of respected months in respected years. So I hope I have made it very easy. I have sourced this material for preparing this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe to my Vision Academy YouTube channel. Thank you so much.